Brandon here. Want to add a tip to all the YouTube videos out there. I ran into an issue here. This is a 04 Hyundai Tiburon. It came in with no clutch pedal. Pedal's dead. No pressure. First checking it out, slave was in pretty rough shape. Had a lot of rust on it. In it, I should say. On it and in it. It was bad. So changed the slave. Still couldn't. Got a little pressure, but I noticed the pedal was really hard. There's a lever right here. Put a pry bar behind it. It would not move. This lever actually pulls on the clutch. Yes, Hyundais have a pull type clutch system, not a push type. So anyways, advise the customer I need to pull the transmission out and find out what's up. So pull it out, get the transmission all out. I guess somebody previously had tried to change the throwout bearing in it. The throwout bearing had blown up. They did not take what was left of the throwout bearing out of the pressure plate because it snaps in there. And the new throwout bearing was sitting there in the transmission. And so it could never engage, obviously, because the old one was still in its place. So anyways, we do a full clutch kit on it. Come to find out clutch is burned up. And put it all back together and still had an issue there was a gap between the lever here and the slave. I mean, a big gap. Like, maybe it had a 1/4 inch stroke. Maybe a hair more in here. I was like, that's not enough to engage and disengage the clutch. So, verified all parts on this car. Verified it's the right lever. This car has been messed with a lot. There's a lot of stuff on it that's, yeah, it's had too many people mess with it over the years, unfortunately. But anyways, what I had to do here to make this work, I've got another lever here. There's a master spline in there, right in the center. There you go. It only allows this to go on the clutch fork rod one way. Well, our problem was needed to be a hair closer. And what I think has happened here, if the previous setup on here ever worked, it probably bent that rod. It bent the fork rod, and I've already have the transmission and everything back in it. Don't want to take it back out. And so what we did here is this file. We filed it down in the master spline in the center to give us another groove to allow us to move this, like just a hair, whatever way you need, forward or back. In my case, I needed it closer to the slave. This right here limits the travel up against the transmission. Well, it actually fits perfectly up against the transmission now. So now we can have a proper stroke to disengage and engage the clutch. And just saying that I've read in other forums that people were running into this. I don't know if it's the rod twisting every time or what have you, but this is what worked for me. So you might have to do that, especially if that rod's twisted up. But also I was going to mention the slave here. This is a 6-speed transmission. They also make a 5-speed transmission. The 5-speed slave has no offset. The slave body here is parallel to the bolts. The 6-speed one actually has an offset. This is actually angled. You're going to see it well here, but it's actually angled a hair towards the driver's side of the car. So, verify which transmission you have before you get that, because, yeah, we had the wrong one earlier, and you could tell as soon as I set it down in there that's not right. But, yeah, hopefully this tip helps somebody. Oh, and also, I mentioned transmission not engaging gears earlier. Shift cable's no good. So I changed those. That was fun. That plate right there, that was not fun bolting and unbolting. That goes on a firewall on the inside, behind the dash and the air conditioning. But I think we're going to be in good shape. I got to change the master tomorrow because there's more stuff that's rigged under the dash. But I think we're going to be in good shape. So maybe, hopefully this helps somebody. Best of luck.